Hello guys, my name's Rustin Moon and I run the Lost Gear channel. Just wanted to show you one of the projects that I built before a while back. A little bit sunny here today and I'm a little bit sick, so I may sound a little weird and hopefully you can hear me. But I'm going to go over the Jeep truck that I built about a year ago, a little over a year ago. It's not just a Jeep truck, it's a little bit of a Frankenstein, but let's check it out. Show you under the hood and all around. Alright, so this right here is the it says 1961 Jeep Willys pickup. It was sitting in our backyard for a long time, over 15 years, I'm guessing, and we played in it growing up, and my dad had this idea to swap it onto a K10 chassis. So I came off of a mission. I served a mission in Rio, Brazil, but because of COVID, had to come home and spend some time working on this. Cut it off the old chassis, and we swapped it onto this K10 chassis that we found. So it has the Chevy 350 and Chevy drivetrain. It's got an Muncie 4-speed. I'm trying to remember what it is, the SM 465 or something like that. I used to know all this stuff when I was doing research on it. And yeah, it had a lot of rust. So I put in these patch panels, which this was probably my biggest project at learning how to weld, because this is by no means a restoration or professional. This was just getting in the garage and figuring it out, welding stuff together, make it so you wouldn't have your feet through the floor. But it's got the Chevy 350. Right now we got some sort of leak right down there. Chevy 350, and it seems like it has stock suspension. We didn't do anything to it yet. We did get these new tires though. But other part of the drivetrain is the 4-speed manual transmission and an NP205 transfer case. We've got 2 saddle tanks. They came off the Chevy as well. And and the reason the K10 chassis worked was it was like there was maybe a half-inch difference in wheelbase. So that was what my dad thought would work really well. Ended up being a huge pain, because anybody who knows about swapping a body, it's a pain. We'll go back to the interior, or the lack of interior. This vehicle does have disc brakes, which is nice, and of course you got your clutch pedal because it's a manual. This right here is the fan. The fan's kind of interesting. I don't know if you saw, but it's a pusher fan because there's no room behind the engine. Actually, so we have these, it's like the muscle car pins, but in the back. I'll probably pull that off in a second, but yeah, that's what we did to keep it from bouncing around as much as it was. But as a pusher fan, because there wasn't very much room behind the radiator, so this is our fan switch, your shifters and transfer case. We have yet to connect all of the gauges. These two work. The turn signals work on this, and you can get the lights to work. But funny thing is, the turn signals and the lights don't work at the same time, so we're still having to figure that out. It's kind of sucks. Back in here, you see there's a heater my dad installed. because it'll get cold in the winter. So far, it gets just really hot. Like, the engine's fine. Engine runs at about, what, 195, something like that on this gauge. And, but it just is hot inside because you got a hole right here that we need to patch up, and there's not a lot of insulation or anything. Steering wheel's out of the Chevy. These seats were sitting in the truck, never attached, so we cut up some stuff and bolted it on, made some brackets. We've got 4-point harness, but we don't have a roll bar yet, so we don't have anything to attach the shoulder straps to. Need some new glass because the glass is cracked, if you can see on that window. No interior liner. You have these fueler necks, which there's fuel all the way up there. My dad kind of made these little things. We had the fueler necks, the filler necks, and I don't know where he got the hose. I wasn't there for that, but oh yeah, and these tires are 35-inch Geolander mud terrains. They're like a G003. I have these on. So right now I'm visiting in Oregon, where I'm from, and but I'm living in Idaho, going to school. So I have a Nissan Pathfinder, and it has the same tires, but 31-inch tires, I think. So we like them. The tread pattern, and the blocks are really good. It's got a lot of side protection, or sidewall protection. I forgot what those are actually called, but they're pretty neat tires. Some of the next things we want to do is get a lift kit, because as you can see in here, well, it rides like a donkey, but there's like the suspension is really flat in the front. Back, it's not as bad. It's got the load. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I forgot what they're called, but the extra set of leaf springs for load. So we'll probably just ditch those because this isn't going to be really a hauling truck. Oh, the rear bumper, should have painted it when we had the chance. I kind of made it in, I don't know, a few hours. It's pretty tough. The lights are hooked up, but as I was saying, we have that electrical issue. We got a bunch of crap in the back right now, but this right here, this is one of the tires that our truck has been sitting on, or that was on it in the beginning. It was in our backyard. There was a set of old Super Swampers, and when we were first building the project, that's all we had to kind of run around the neighborhood. It was a little scary. They're pretty cracked, and so when we got these new tires, we're like, oh my gosh, it rides so nice. But we have that one currently as kind of the spare, even though wouldn't really trust it to go over 25 miles an hour, because like I said, the tire was sitting underneath our truck, bolted onto the axle for over 15 years in our backyard. I don't know how long it was before then that it had been attached, so we're not going to rely on it. What else? It's a fun vehicle. It's got a ways to go. We've got a winch in the garage. We've got a Smitty built. What's the low capacity? It's like 9,500. So 9,500 pound capacity. It's on. I have one on my Pathfinder too that I built a bumper for. I'll do a video on that on my Pathfinder. But That winch is going to be bracketed up here. You can see this bumper. My dad did this. He just cut a hole in the back and bolted it on. Something just to protect it, I guess. And then we just had an old off-road hook that was just sitting in the garage. By no means is this a great build. It's fun, it's dumb, it's something to bounce around in the woods with. I'm a little bit of a artist in some ways, and so some things bother me like this, but where it's just on one side, and the wires, but it's a work in progress, and it's structurally sound. Right here is our kill switch. It really isn't a kill switch, it's more like a battery cutoff, because it had an issue with parasitic draw on the battery, and so we put that on there. This thing used to be on there, so it was just on there, and we're like, oh, we'll just drill a hole and put this thing through it, and I don't know, it's kind of fun. And you got this, I think it's a 4-core rad for a Jeep Willys pickup. Everything's pretty tight in there, as I'll show you in a moment. So this is the engine bay. As you can see, you got the 350 small block alternator and your power steering. No AC in this unit. Got a little bit of a coolant leak, which I just found. I think that's because of the heater that my dad put in somewhat recently. We've got the rad. I think we got this from Summit Racing. I can't remember. And just the old tank that came with the... Oh, it's broken. That came with the old truck. Pretty bare bones. Everything's pretty sturdy. Of course, we have a battery held on by a ratchet strap, but yeah. So that's kind of the truck. It was a lot of fun to build. It still has a long ways to go. We want to put lockers, put that winch on it, do a nice front bumper. Of course, there's a bunch of other stuff you could do, but we just want to make it a pretty good little rock crawler, and probably use it as a rescue vehicle once it's reliable enough. Throwing around, maybe putting in an LS and boxing the frame, but we've got a lot of projects, so we'll see how that goes. So like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Just here to share kind of what I've been doing and what I like to do. And this truck, we call it the Mutt, or Frank Williams. Hopefully we'll be posting more videos about it. Thanks.